So today on Camp Geeks, we're going to do a setup video on this. This is the brand new MSR Habescape. This is the 6-person version. They have it in a 4 and a 6-person. Essentially the same tent, just a little bit larger. Last year I did the Habitude series. Now I did the 4-person version of that. Took that on a big road trip. Had a blast with it. So today, we're going to do a setup video on this, and I'm going to do a separate video at the same time that's going to release at the same time this one is, that's going to be a comparison between the Habitude and the Habescape. And then I'm also going to show the difference in the footprint between the 4-person and the 6-person. So, I got some blank space behind me. Let's get to setting this guy up. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and start setting it up here. It's going to be in fast motion. Anytime I find something that I think I need to point out to you, I'll slow down and we'll talk about it. Otherwise, let's get to setting up. First thing I should do is clear the area. Stick won't do very good. Now one thing I do always love about the MSR tents is their bag, the side load bag with the compression straps. Just makes everything easy to getting everything out, but also getting everything back in. I got a pole bag, a stake bag, and then of course the rain fly. I'm going to set that off to the side right now. We'll get the main part of the tent up. Now I'm going to face it, doors facing that way, so the vestibule out away from the side of my property. Let's make sure the video is set for that. So now that I got it out, I'm going to take 4 stakes and just stake out the corners real quick. Kind of where I want them. It's pole time. So the thing about this tent, as well as the Habitude, is you got this nice hubbed tent pole. So all, basically both main poles are hubbed together. And then you can just set it over top and then work it in. Okay. And that tent pole came out over there. I just saw that. This is when it makes it a lot easier if you have 2 people, but this tent is more than capable of being put up by 1 person. So once you get it in there, you just gotta keep tension on it. I don't like usually stepping over my tent, but made it real easy. So you can already see the structure of it. Plenty of headspace, right? This is actually the center of the tent right here. I can tell because it's a little bit more beefy. I'm going to go ahead and clip that. And then start clipping the tent, at least down a certain way on both sides. Okay. I'm going to pause real quick right there, just so you know, if you open up the door, if you're not very tall, if you're not tall, as tall as I am, you can then easily stand in here and do this from closer to the tent. I'm just going to go around and get the other sides that you're away from the camera. That's our primary poles. Next we have the secondary poles that go from this side location. They basically go up and around to the other side, and there's 2 metal pieces here for the tent pole to grab onto, and I'll show you that here shortly. So again, like before, I'm going to go ahead and take the poles, get all the poles out so I know what poles I'm dealing with. All right. So over here, there's one of these guys. I'm going to go ahead and just pull it and then kind of use this pole as a fulcrum point and then connect it to one of the rings here. Show you what I mean. So you can see on each of these, there's 2. One for the pole going this way, one for the pole going that way. And then of course, once you get it in place, you can do this. I usually wait to do these right here until I have all 4 poles done. So I'm going to do the poles first. The main part of the tent is done. Now all we have is the rain fly or to go over top of it. So with the rain fly, there is only 1 vestibule on this tent. We do have a door on this side as well as the opposite side, so there are 2 doors, but there's only 1 big gear vestibule. Now there's no exact science that I've ever found that makes throwing the vestibule over is superly simple, other than not blind luck or anything, but just taking your time, making sure you have it inside out right or right side out. I think I actually have the vestibule right now. There. Taller the tent, the harder this part is. So usually you'll find a whole bunch of seams together. That's usually where the poles come together as a point. Yeah, here's our door right here. So I'm just rotated. Now I'm going to go around to the vestibule, and there's more of these rings that go in the bottom. So you feed them to the bottom of the pole. Just leave them loose for now. And now I'm going to use some tent stakes. First things first, we have the gear, the vestibule itself. Then there's the guy line points. Now I have 4 stakes. Other than the 4 that I used on the tent, I used 2, 1 on each side, and then 2 here, the vestibule. The back one I didn't put 1 in, and there's a reason for that. I tell you what, the sun is beating down warm today. So the neat thing about this one is it does have 2 sides. Two zippers, 2 sides. And so like if you have trekking poles, you could actually, you know, put a little like sunshade / kind of rain diverter, I guess, on there. Do they have a way? Yes, they do. At least they thought of that. So I'm going to open the door up completely. Just going to just roll this up, get it out of our way for now. Okay, we're going to open the door as well and do the same thing with the door. Just get it out of our way so I can show you some stuff. All right, we're basically done. So you can see how the door just goes up with the standard clips there, and they're the same way up here. It took me a minute because it is not the biggest, so you wind this up like that. Now you can also unzip this and do this side too and actually roll this up. You can see there are catches for that side as well as for this side. So plenty of options to open this tent up to get some air movement in here. So here on the back side, if it was going to rain, I would take this guy and I'd stake this out. But if it's not going to rain, I wouldn't, because I'd actually open this up so I can actually use this door in the tent. So this part of the rainfly also can be tied up like so. And now we're all the way through. So for setup purposes, we're done. If you need to cool the tent down and get some air movement, you can open up both doors or just leave the screen side down, but we are done. So for teardown, I'm not going to show everything on video, but basically I rip out all of the stakes that are just tying in the rainfly, leave the 4 for the corners of the tent for now. That'll be last. So I'll rip those out and then I'll pull this guy off. So now that I have the rainfly off, I shut the doors. Everything's ready to come down, so I'm going to take the 4 small poles off real quick before we go to the main poles. So here's the 4 small poles. Now, whenever you put shock poles away, always start in the center and then work your way back towards the end. So I have all 4 poles ready to go. Now, I'll take off all the clips, all of them, let the tent settle down to nothing, and then I'll take the big poles off. And just like the smaller poles, X them and then start in the middle and just take them down from the middle out. This part is when everybody kind of has their own little thing. What I do is I fold everything for this tent just like this separately, the rainfly separately, tent stakes and poles separately with the MSR bags, because it just makes it so much easier in my opinion. And so I'll just fold it down, get it ready to go in the bag. So then I'll take the stuff bag, just take the tent and jam it in there. For me doing that, take the poles and the stakes, stick them in there, and then I'll do the same thing with the rainfly. fold that up and put that on top. So you can see right now, it's pretty full, but once you get everything cinched up, you'll see what it looks like here in a second. And that's pretty much it. You know, is it back to perfectly how it was? No, but it's pretty darn good. Now this is the 6-person. It's gonna set up identical to the 4-person, right? So this is gonna work on either of them. It's just the 4-person doesn't have as big of a footprint. Height-wise, pretty close to the same. 4-person's probably a little bit shorter. But that's that. Next video, if you'd like to check out the following video, at the top, link at the top, links at the end here. Comparison between the Hab Escape and the Habitude. Now, we're also going to look at the differences between the 4-person and the 6-person size. So come on back for that. Thanks again for watching here all the way to the end here on Camp Geeks. This is the 6-person Hab Escape setup. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.